Welcome back to the Author's Forge. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about one of the most overlooked tools, I think, in Microsoft Word for authors, which is the navigation pane and utilizing headings to make your navigation pane effective. So, before you even begin writing your manuscript, setting up your headings correctly will save you hours of frustration. It helps you organize chapters, move chapters if you want to easily and quickly, navigating larger documents over. I'll show you all of that. If you do your back matter or your front matter like in the wrong order, you can just move them along the navigation pane. Very easy. I'll show you how to modify your heading styles, structure your manuscript properly, and use the navigation pane like a professional author. So trust me, once you learn this, you'll never want to write another book without it. So let's get started. So here we have just a regular Word document. You know what? I already have the navigation pane open, so let's just close that for a minute. So first, we're going to set up our headings. You want to be in the home screen. Over here are your headings. You have a couple of different options over here. If you click on your arrow, usually you can see more of them, but my screen is shrunk. So from here, there's only a few that I like to use. I use the normal one for just writing everything else. And then I like to use heading 1 and subtitles. And I will show you why. So first, we're going to modify our normal typing font here. If you right click and modify, you can use really any font you want. You do have to be careful. If you're using Amazon to distribute your book, it has to be a font that their system recognizes. So you'll want to check that. I have dabbled in a couple of different font types. I have found that Times New Roman does print the cleanest, so I do prefer it. So Times New Roman, I do like the font size 12. Make sure your colors on automatic were black. And then it already auto did this, but this is where your text will be placed. So this is left, justified, centered, right, and then this one is called justified. You want it on justified so that the text is even on both sides. So it's already been selected. So just double check it when you do yours. And then these you don't really have to mess with. This is your spacing. So if you look down here where it says single, this is single. If you click over here, it adjusts that down here to 1.5. Now it's double spaced. We're just going to keep it right here on single spaced. These boxes are the gap between your paragraphs. So you can make them larger or smaller. I tend to keep it where it's at right here at the 12 point. And then these adjust how big of an indent you want when you tab over at the beginning of your paragraphs. I usually just leave most of that stuff alone. Hit OK. Now we're going to adjust our first headings. Sorry. We're going to do modify again. So I kind of already went through and did this, so I apologize, but I like the writing to be black. It was set to be blue before. I like to use the 28 size font, the Times New Roman, and I want mine centered for the chapters. So that looks right for me. Hit OK. And then I already have a document I copied. Let's open up the navigation pane. And I'm just going to paste in a few of the chapters I already went and grabbed to show you guys this. So I just went and grabbed a few chapters out of my other book and I removed the font formatting that I had already put on here just so I could show you guys. So make sure you're at the home screen. You don't have to highlight this. Prologue is my first chapter title, so I'm going to click heading. So to click next when it does it. The 2009, if you have a POV, so like a point of view from a different character, you want to put their name there, you could, usually you want to highlight those too. This is the year I want it highlighted. You don't want to use the heading again. I'll show you why. It puts it over here in the navigation pane. The reason you don't want that is because when you go to do your TOC, your table of contents, it's going to also put that 2009 there, and you don't want that on there. So I want it to be a subtitle. Oh, my subtitles is not done, so we're going to modify my subtitles. Here we go. I want that to be black. I want this to be at an 18 font, Times New Roman, bold, and I don't want it justified, I want it centered. Okay, now every time I do subtitle, it will move them all in. Perfect. Now, if you're not using headings, you have to scroll to find your next chapter. I just saw, oh, look at that, there's another POV change. We're going to make that a subtitle. There we go. So the reader can see it clearly. And now we're looking. This is why the navigation pane saves you so much time, because you can move between chapters so much more efficiently. Let's see, here we are. Here's the next one. Heading. Here's another subtitle. Another date change. Another POV change. And we're searching. Let's see, there's heading and subtitle. All right. What's nice about this now, if you wanted to, like I was saying before, maybe your back matter, your front matter needs to be moved around, as long as you're using your headings on all of them, which you will be. You can just click on this and you can move it wherever you want. And then you can just go redo the chapters if you wanted to move a chapter around. It just prevents you from having to select everything and then cut it and then copy it into another section. This is much quicker. Also, let's just say you decide, you know what, I really don't like the Times New Roman font. You don't have to select this and then go up and change the font. You just go change this. Go back to modify. Maybe you want Arial black instead. It changes the writing on every chapter. Okay? Every single one of them. Go change it back real quick. Let's just say maybe you only want to change your heading. Maybe you want it to be more unique. Maybe we change it to this. Maybe you want it slightly larger. Maybe you also want it italicized. Hit OK. And it changes all the chapter titles for you without you having to go and select them all and change the font manually. It's very quick, much quicker to do it this way. Let me see if I forgot anything. As you can see, these are justified all the way down. Show you what it would look like if it wasn't. You can left justify it. See how it moved it all in? So you can just move it from all of this way faster. Do it from the heading screen. Right? Everything's as it should be. All right. Well, that was all I had to show you guys on how to utilize the navigation pane and how to utilize headings so your navigation pane works. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I'll see you on the next one.